Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Lauren. I'm a caster for Chair League, amateur tournament, or recreational league. You can join anytime you want, either individually or as a team. I have the distinct pleasure of casting 3 games tonight, first of which will be kfor versus Ganks. This is a single match, and I'm going to have a good time saying that name for certain throughout the course of the game. Thanks for that, guys. This is a placement match. A lot of new teams showing up for season 3. Very cool to see. I'm gonna get the draft links out to these esteemed captains so we can get the proverbial show on the road. Right after this game, I have another one, and then I'll have a short break, and I'll be back a little later on for the third game for me for the night. Plenty of Chair League action Monday through Friday. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. Draft links are sent out to these teams. Alright, I couldn't whisper to Captain because he doesn't take whispers from people not on his friends list, so I just posted it in the lobby. He'll be alright. He'll walk it off. We're all set, ready to up in draft. Neat. Oh, production value. Let me make sure I switch over. Ban that name. I'm not the biggest fan of it either. Not gonna lie. Can't wait you to stream my game. Oh, cool, man. Looking forward to it. What team are you on? But draft is underway. The esteemed gentlemen behind Ganks R Us have elected to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen, a map I very much enjoy casting. Draft is well underway. You're going to see Zul and Sylvanas getting banned out. Smart choices all around. Those heroes bring a ton of pressure to a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen. If they are allowed to establish the kind of wave pressure they specialize in, particularly Sylvanas, being able to lock down structures during a web weaver pushes, definitely can win a game early doing that. Definitely understand those bans. I'm just gonna say D4 because I don't know. I feel weird just saying that a bunch of times. So Jane is gonna be the first ban for D4. And Venom. All right, cool. Looking forward to it, man. Trying to remember if I casted that team name before. Apologies if I don't remember. I cast a lot of Chair League, a lot of team names and player names to try to sort together. The Jaina first pick is interesting to me. She offers a ton of burst damage. She got something of a rework not too long ago. Just changed the Harambe for. That's a good idea, actually. I like that. I'm surprised to see Jaina get picked first. There are a lot of really high priority heroes out there to select. Ariel's seen a lot of first pick priority. Kerrigan as well. Zagara. Surprised Zagara went through. Ganksaurus might be a little surprised themselves. They're like, all right, well, if you're gonna take Jaina, that's fine. We'll go ahead and establish all kinds of vision. We'll throw the creep around the turn in, so you'll have a good time trying to get your gems turned in. We'll have a whole bunch of vision on your team. And if we go Nidus Network, will be all over the map. Or Devouring Maw in these tight corridors can get a ton of value in and of itself. So the Zagara first choice for Ganks R Us could have huge implications going into this game. Johanna for wave clears, not a bad start at all for the members of Ganks R Us. Harambe 4, that's for you, Yava. It's for the kid in the back. Harambe 4, I have a couple of heroes to pick. There's someone in the chat named John Stamos 1234. I'm a fan of that. Nice. Uncle Jesse in here. Got a celebrity. Harambe 4 going into their time pool now. 55 seconds in counting before they have to select at least one hero. They are going to solidify their damage dealers. They're going to pick up Vala as well. Interesting start to their composition. Looking at this, I'm wondering how Ganks are going to try to respond. Around before might be leaving themselves in an awkward spot. They might find themselves getting boxed out of key heroes for frontline and support this way. They do have the option to take a support right now. Neither team has been able to or has selected a support, so they could theoretically at least get the jump on that front. But they're going to lock in their solo laner. Thrall and Zagara is a contest as old as time in Heroes of the Storm. I would imagine we'd see these two heroes squaring off in the bot lane, trading blows. It's a very skill-based lane, Thrall versus Zagara these days. Positioning is important. Can Thrall time his Wind Fury strikes to sustain himself enough through Zagara's damage? You really have to mind cooldowns and stuff. I'm curious to see how that one's going to play. Man, Uncle Jesse might be showing your age. You know who he is, so I guess we're both showing it. Hey, I am proudly 32 years old. I'm a grown man. I ain't mad at all. So, take that, Kappa. Bans go through rather swiftly. ETC and Asmodan is the bans of choice for both of these teams. Asmodan's not a hero you see too much these days, but there was some potential there. With the Joanna pickup, that synergizes well with Asmodan, building those stacks up. Harambe 4 with this squishy backline. They don't feel like having orbs drop down on their face. I don't blame them at all. Sonya is going to be the next selection for Ganks R Us, a meaty front line to consider. Wrath of the Berserker and Leap both, I feel, have a potential part to play here. You have a couple squishy heroes like Jaina and Vala, a free ticket to the back line with Leap. Could be big. Dive Comps crushes that comp if Brightwing is not taken. We'll see, man. We shall see. Ganks R Us have 17 seconds before they have to take their next choice. They're really thinking about this. Neither team has gone for a support just yet. So Brightwing is going to get selected for Ganks R Us. The passive healing should buy a healthy front line like John and Sonya time to continue to patch themselves up. Leaves a lot of options open for Ganks R Us. They could still go for a double support. Wouldn't be the worst idea. Lily Murden to round out the composition. Harambe 4 feel confident that Lily alone will be enough to keep this backline alive. And I'm wondering how that's going to play. This last choice by Ganks R Us is really going to define this draft, I feel. If Ganks R Us have a solid Tyrande player on their team, I feel like they've effectively won the draft. Li Ming is up there as well. So this is going to be a high stakes game. This is going to be high stakes. Reasoning being, Lily by themselves and Brightwing by themselves are not the most burst potential you'd ever see. Or burst healing potential. Whereas both of these teams have really strong burst options. If Janet can land the Blizzards, land Ring of Frost, if that's the heroic that they take, Vala can get the Rain of Vengeance. Thrall's no slouch with damage either. Murden, if he goes for, give him the axe later on at 16. There's a lot of burst damage for Brightwing to have to deal with. But over on the side of Ganks R Us, Li Ming getting selected with Zagara and Sonya's sustained style of damage. Lily's Q button on their keyboard might see some damage tonight. Trying to keep the likes of Vala and Jane are alive. Those are some squishy heroes. If I'm Ganks R Us, I feel like this would be a leap game. Leap into, Orb, Magic Missile, Disintegrate. That's bye-bye Jaina in most instances. What to find out, though. So I feel like there are probably some more efficient options to take as far as the overall meta is concerned for these drafts. But I'm always a proponent of play the heroes you're comfortable with rather than what's, popular in the meta. You tend to do better that way. And I think it's just going to come down to who can execute their burst faster. Both of these teams have delete options well in hand in their backline particularly. and the supports might find themselves struggling quite a bit. But we're loading into the game now. I'm trying to think who has the better wave clear. I would give that to Ganks or us. Johanna being a large part of that. I mean, Vala has some clear options herself. So, I don't know. I feel like it's an even draft overall. But, we're going to see. Over on the left side, we got D4, Harambe 4, however you want to substitute that. Blinded 04's on Murden, Abe Malone playing Lily, King Pinch is on Thrall, Chuka playing Jaina, and Gluten Free on Vala. Over on the right side, we got the members of Ganks Are Us, Rippers playing Sonya, Spectral, so on Zagar, Vampire of Life, on Brightwing, Drago, Ivan Drago, on Li Ming, and Ike. Good old Ike on Johanna. Again, I reserve the right to butcher names. It's not intentional, but it can happen. These things take place. I try my best, though. Brightwing teleports down, joins Spectral. Just going to start adding some creep. Dropping the bile nest and whatnot to give some siege targets for that tower. Gets melted down before it can rotate into position. Early value. 4-man unit rotates towards mid on the side of Ganks Are Us. Blind 04 catches an orb. Murden will be able to patch themselves up, but the Blizzard going down on Ike. A lot of damage there. Stormbolt locks in Ripper for the moment. Just some poking. You know, no heavy engagement, no heavy commitment. No need to throw too much caution into the wind. Looking at the level 4 talents while these guys rotate around. Chuka's a half elf, but I'm going to be careful going against Li Ming, who is on the flank. Gluten Free positioning themselves. Ooh, the orb damage. And with no support in sight, they're definitely applying pressure in his top lane. Ganks Are Us. So we're going to see block, Timeless Creature, Serpent Build. Polymorph goes in on Blinded 04. He should be able to Dwarf Toss if it gets dicey. With Abe Malone on Lily, he's not in too much danger. He Dwarf Tosses forward as though he were going to engage. But with his back line out there, I don't think Faye would have been able to come away with the kill. Down in the bot lane, Spectral is pretty damaged, but is applying pressure and keeping this lane pushed in their favor. This tower does not have many shots left, so there's going to be some value to be had before long there. But Serpent Build setup, Q, Lingering Chill, Caltrops, block for Sonya as well. Volatile Acid, Unfurling Spray, Power Hungry for Burst, and Reinforce. I actually like that talent a lot these days for Johanna. Part of Night Takes Pawn has gone into her base kit, allows some different options to be selected, and she gets a lot of block stacks. Gets an auto attack. Outside of Jaina, auto attack is definitely the main source of damage for Harambe 4, so I think that's a really smart choice. Both of these teams are even in experience, 26 gems to 22. Neither team has tried to turn in. Condemn just misses Chuko, but that orb actually kind of peels back and gets the burst damage in. Jaina doesn't care, though. Jaina doesn't feel a need to hard back or anything. They're going to rotate down towards Lily, catch a couple of these jugs, and get back to business. Ripper spinning back. Stormbolt lands in. Blizzard damage. We might have the first takedown of the game. Sonya gets rocked in the middle of the map. First takedown of the game. Nicely timed Stormbolt into the Blizzard combo. I think if those were not paired the way they were, Sonya could have gotten away. Speaks to the level of coordination we're going to see out of Harambe 4. Down in the bot lane, King Pinch lands the root, jumps in, eats all of the Q from Zagar, and he's like, oh, alright, I should probably back up then. And Speckle's like, yeah, you probably should. Drops the Mutalisk on him, continues to stagger him back. Rotation is here, though. Chuko slows down, throws the Q. Can the Blizzard close it out? The Q bounces around, but with 150 health, Speckle says calculated. How's it going, Nick, by the way? Still pretty much even experience despite the takedown. You see Thunderburn, Mending Serpent. Further Q build for both Lily and Thrall. Frost Shards. Punishment. 0 added hatred. Off the W. Focus attack. Medusa Blades. Manic Pixie. Triumvirate. Orb build setup. And Loss of Hope. More sustain for Johanna. 19 gems about to get dropped in. 23 were already turned in for the members of Ganks RS. Gluten-free at 60% health or so. Might make themselves a viable target. Drago, anticipating the rotation, misses the magic missiles, alerting the members of Haran before their position. Chuko just throws a Q and his go. Oh, hey, guy. Hey. Level 7 around the corner for both of these teams. So we might try to see one team try to get ahead once they get a little more utility out of their overall build. Creep is pretty well spread in the bottom part of the map. Do you think that the members around before want to prioritize keeping that tight? They don't want to allow too much creep to spread across the map. Orb goes in on King Pinch. Nice little bit of damage. Magic missile zoning. Vampire Life rotates up. Hey, Strophos, how's it going? Vampire Life potentially caught forward, just dodges the Storm Bolt. That could have kicked off a progression. Red Web Weavers are going to descend. Ripper applying pressure to Chuko. He remembers what happened. He's like, you got me with that Blizzard earlier, man, but you're not going to do that one again. Drago pushing up top lane. First set of Web Weavers on their way. Action down at the bottom. Polymorph condemn as well. Applying pressure to Merlin. Dwarf tosses back. Hits the well. He'll be fine. Ripper jumps in with the spear. Oh, maybe he won't be fine. Burst healing is something that Lily struggles with. Frontline goes down. King Pinch trying to get some kind of counter engagement. Condemn locks in gluten-free next to no help in the flashlight. Securing the second takedown of the night for Ganks RS. Living up to their name quite a bit. The Condemn just misses Jaina. Hydralis goes down on King Pinch. He dares step forward. He charges in with the E. But without your key components in the back line, that could be dicey. Polymorph goes in. 26 gems also in the pockets of King Pinch. Low on mana. Being too aggressive might have been not the best thing. He identifies that, backs away. Top Fork goes down for free. Heroics are around the corner here. So this could definitely become a pretty snowballed progression. Top Web Weaver about to drop. Middle one gets cleared out. Bottom one, the last strands of that gone. Heroics are here. We do see Leap. So it's going to be Leap, Devouring Maul, Blink Heal, Wave of Force, Bless Shield. That's a pretty big matzo ball if they can land that burst combo. Devouring Maul, you gobble up a few members of those. Right as they come out of the Maul, Sonya's off the top rope with the elbow drop. It's a lot of lockdown. Lee Min could have a pretty good time. I'm surprised to see Wave of Force in this situation, though. There aren't really, like... Well, if Wave of Force disrupts Jug of 1,000 Cups, which I would imagine Lily would go for at 10, then, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. But with that kind of wombo setup between Leap and Devouring Maul, I would imagine Disintegrate would get more value. Twitch at work. I can watch Twitch at work as well. I'm super nerd though, so I can remote into my own computer from my computer at work. So I can just like do all that stuff. Boss is gonna get picked up for Ganks RS, presumably, unless Haran before felt cheeky enough to jump in. Speaking of jumping in, Ripper's on the engagement. Devouring Maul gobbling up a couple of members. Can they follow up off of this? Condemn brings in Blinded. Vala and Lily both find themselves on the milk box. A swift deletion. Heroics still are not here for Haran before. They do get those now. Ring of Frost goes in, so the wombo potential can be there. Jug of 1,000 Cups, Sundering. Nice little follow-up, both offensively and defensively. All kinds of pressure going in on this top keep wall. This should be taken down before the boss goes away, and they can make a safe retreat. They could potentially overstay their welcome, though. So Blinded 4 and King Pinch are definitely looking for the right moment to land a Storm Bolt or Sundering, respectively. But, smart decision by Ganks RS. They're just going to rotate back. Yeah, Breakfast, that's kind of what my concern for their wombo setup is. You know, you want people together for the leap. Devouring Maul brings them all together, and then Wave of Force will push them apart. So they'll have to play their heroics a very specific way to maximize the value there. Drago trying to get those gems turned in, but the poke is there from Haram before. They're on even talent tiers for the moment. Sonya leaps in. Ripper has no scruples. Damage going in on Jaina. The Sundering's not going to be enough. Jaina drops. King Pinch jumps in there. 46 gems, drops his whole coin purse. 3, 4, potential ace if they can close out blinded. Oh, the long range spear. Wow. That spear came from Sky Temple to secure the ace and the top key. For the members of Ganks R Us, living up to that name to the fullest, because when Ripper hits that R key, I'm sure on comms he's like, I'm going, guys. Like, I'm in there. Back me up. So we were concerned about some potential negative synergy, but Haram before could tell you, the damage is there. 49 gems in the pockets. That was a full reset of gems for Harambe 4. Another set of web weavers with catapults in the top lane. It's going to be some serious pressure on the core. At the very least, that should buy the members of Ganks R Us time to get these next the mid and bottom keeps. They could play it aggressively. They do have a tier advantage. They could just look to fight in the top lane. They want to play this methodically. They don't want to risk throwing the game, overstay their welcome anywhere, get too hasty. So they feel if they split the efforts and attentions of Harambe 4, you have Vala and Lili in the top lane already dealing with the top web weaver, but the pressure's on the bot. Chuko trying to poke with leap. The leap goes in. The orb just misses, but it's not going to matter. The wave of force is going to set them up for a fall. King Pinch hits E, gets out of there. Jug of 1,000 cups. Could they potentially try to turn this around? Bottom keep is going to go down one way or the other. Jugs runs out. Everybody has full health. The early avatar, and with that, Ganks R Us just is well incentivized to back away. We'll let your avatar run out. That's fine. Cups are down. You have Rain of Vengeance up. But we're about to be 2 tiers up on you, so you're playing our game. Blinded with the short-range Dwarf Toss. Can they catch Ripper forward? No Stormbolt. Polymorph goes in. Spec Roll throwing in some of that semi-automatic action with Zagara's Q. And they are able to secure their escape. Level 16 around the corner. It's another keep. Around before we're able to save their middle keep, so they don't have to worry about catapults in 2 lanes. But this is becoming a progressively more dire situation for the blue team. That's for sure. Ripper rotates down towards the bottom. Is going to get joined by Brightwing in case there's a rotation. Added residual pressure. Siege camp along with catapults. It's going to have to get cleared out. Bruiser camp picked up. Siege camp is well on the way. The macro game is there from Ganks R Us. They've played this map very well. They've gotten all the web weavers shown up for the game so far. Really put Harambe 4 in a tough spot. Blinded has to Dwarf Toss back. Doesn't want to give up too much free poke. Orb goes in. Finds Blinded 04. And that burst damage is really starting to land. Arcane Orbit. Illusionist at 13. So no glass cannon. Boss is back up. A little bit of deja vu. Ganks R Us is like, well, we're up a talent tier. 10 takedowns to 1. Even if we somehow died, like all of us died, we still have the top fort and everything. So this boss would effectively be the game. Harambe 4 know that. They throw in the Sundering. Li Ming is able to capture the boss. They catch Ike out. Johanna does fall. The Rain of Vengeance goes on Spectral, who's trying to close out this kill with 120 health. Zagara is able to escape on the back end, though, losing 3 members. That might be the beginning of the end. Blinded 04 catches the wave of force. Lili trying to mount up. The spear lands again. Spinning to win on Lili. Ready for adventure. Not so much. 4 for nothing. Blinded 04. No mana. Has to just back away. And this should be game. Core is dropping. Catapult. Siege camp. During that whole progression, the shield had dropped. Like the catapults and the siege camp marched their way up. So one way or the other, that was going to be the game. town hall meeting to finish out that game at the blue team core. Ganks has come away with a impressive victory. Not bad. Not bad at all. My concern for that draft, like I said, was that one team is not going to have enough support. One team's not going to be able to keep up. Brightwing has some options. Lily has kinda some options. And at the end of the day, looked like Ganks and Russ were able to hold on. Lily really struggled keeping the members of Haram before alive. And against Li Ming, who quite enjoys snowballing team fights, they kind of backed themselves in a corner with that Lily pick. They weren't able to execute. They couldn't get the kills early in team fights to really try to force Ganks and Russ into a defensive stance. And Ganks and Russ came away with the win. Cool. GG's, well played. That one goes into the record books. Right now, without any delay, we have another game. Pepperidge Farms Remembers going up against Team Envenom. Who is that? Arcandial? His own Envenom. They're looking forward to me casting their game. And I'm looking forward to casting them. So it'll be cool. Let me go ahead and get everything set up. Let me not ready up for quick match. That would have been awkward if I like just insta-queued in a quick match. That could have gotten rough. But I saved it. I had cancel in time. We're good. We're good. Pepperidge Farms Remembers versus Envenom. Let me join that Cherry League channel. Again, GG's, well played by both teams. A lot of fun. Don't know about the wave of force. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, I was with you, man. But they were able to make it work. Pepperidge Farms. Dude, I knew if you saw this team name, you would appreciate it. You would appreciate it for sure. Pepperidge Farms Remembers. Pepperidge Farms Remembers. Alright. I have casted Pepperidge Farms Remembers before. In the Chair League channel chat. Some alliteration. Members of Envenom need to check in on the Chair League site. Also, speaking of the Chair League site, if you are not, you can head over to Chair League once the game starts. The match should be live. If you go to... Let's post a link in the chat, because I'm a nice guy like that. Because I'm nice. But, the point I was trying to make... So you go to this link. You'll see it. I'm on a 30-second delay. So you go there. You will be able to watch, the game. You'll have the Twitch chat and everything. Be able to interact with everyone. But you'll see at the top and bottom parts of the screen, you would be able to highlight, give star points to players who make plays throughout the game, and then that's a stat that persists throughout the season. So it becomes an interesting metric. Like, there could be potential like MVP type of things. Just show some appreciation for the individual team play. So if that was something you wanted to do, I think it's really cool. I think it could potentially set a high bar for watching esports.